Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, Capital Markets Analyst and host of your Cannabis Business Podcast. Back with us is Rohit Srivastava for a weekly algorithmic trading update. That's for the AI-based Cannabis Index that we have. So Rohit, take it away.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks for having me. And I know we were trying to do this from last 2 days, and I'm sorry I was not available and you were not available, but this data is a little bit 2 days old. So based on that, just a little bit of disclosure. This is all for entertainment. This is all for learning. We're not giving any financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes. Briefly talking about our cannabis index, which is like a VIX. This is not an investable cannabis index. This just gives an idea about where the market is, which is equally weighted. And this was from our inception. This was where we were last week. You saw that it tried to create a support at 310, and this week it still stuck to that, and it is reaching the previous support, the 390, which is like the we were hoping that it might become a support, it might become a resistance, but it has broken all support. I would probably not say that 310 is our support, but for now, that's our support we have right now. But on our money flow, it is hanging on to that money flow. So I think it's a good sign. This the sign usually, if somebody really wants to trade using this index, it's actually a very safe index to say when to buy and when to sell. And at this point, where this point was 325, this which you're seeing here, this was a 325 point, and I think that was a good point. Even if somebody wants to trade an index MJ or POTX, that would have been the point to get in and stay in there till it reaches back in that point. But that's probably, I'll tell you a little bit later as to how this can be used in future. But what bottom line out of that is that was probably a good point to get in. If you have your favorite stocks, that would have been like a point where 325, and just stay in there till it reaches back to this blue line in there. So at this point, it looks like bullish. It looks like in a positive side. From the investable index, which we have been tracking, or you might have seen our last podcast where we were talking about how it has been profitable. We sold the 4 holdings which we had, the Cara, ABBV, AR, and MO, which you can see the respective like amazing gains out of that, which led us to have a total gain of about 27% year to date this year, and overall 58.74 since inception. If you can go back and see when did we buy this and when did we sold this, you can look at our previous podcast to do that. The 4 new ones, PMD, GWPS, ZYNE, and NTEC, these are the 4 ones which we bought on 4/13. That was a trigger which we had. We got into those 4 and we sold on 4/14. The 4 one which you have marked, which you see in there. As a comparison, this last 1 week from last 10 days, it was an amazing gain. Like you can see, like almost 14%. We almost doubled in the cost in our gains in the last 10 days. I mean, you might have seen the history as well. Everybody's talking about how awesome this last 1 week was. But also, there was a great gain even for all of that. The MJ POTX, they probably recovered like 7% of their gain, 7 to 8% of their gain from their losses. So it was a good week overall for the whole stock market, I guess. Overall, it's still trying to hold that support. We sold the 4 holdings. We have new 4 holdings, and overall, we have an overall gain of about 58% and 27% gain year to date. Like I was saying earlier, that the thing which I wanted to tell at this point where it is a good buying point where it reaches that, and sometimes it has false indicator, but you come back and you sell it. This is probably a play if you're trying to play like an index like MJ. Here is the example of that. That particular day which you're seeing is 325, and 325 is at that point was about $11. And you would have been about 5% ahead if you just would have traded at 1125 at this point. So it is still a good buy. That's what it's saying, to stay in there if you're trying to trade a major index and something like that. But the bottom line of that is this: there will be false indicator, there will be positive indicator, but when it actually rallies, it rallies in a very positive side of that. So this indicator combined with where you have to buy and sell is a good combination overall to get into a particular market. So that's all I have for us, Josh.
Yeah, I think AI algorithms doing pretty well, picking those for us. 120% over POTX since August. Pretty good return. So hopefully we'll have another pretty good week. Obviously some volatility is still going to hit, but as long as the money flow keeps coming in, and that gives the robot another opportunity, I guess.
Yes, that's true. Okay.
All right. Well, I guess with that, we're going to roll this one up. I want to thank my guest, Rohit Srivastava, Chief Investment Officer and Portfolio Manager with Saroj and Bhanu Fund. Thanks again. With that, I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't. And I'm out.